conversion of context-free grammar to Greibach normal form. So how to convert a CFG to GNF? So these are the steps that need to follow to convert a given CFG to GNF. First one, we have to make sure that the given grammar is in the form of Chomsky's normal form, that is CNF. So that means it should remove with, there should be removal of null production, unit production and useless productions. And it should be in the form of Chomsky's normal form. Then we need to rename the non-terminals as A1, A2, A3 in the ascending order. For example, if I am having S tends to SA and A tends to B1, BA like this. Here S, A, B, these are all non-terminals. I have to rename such that starting from this start symbol. Always remember, start symbol must start with A1. So I will map A1. So S is named as A1. The production rule, what comes next? A. So I am assuming A to A. Then what are the next one more non-terminal? B. So B is mapped to A3. So I have to rename in the form of A1 tends to A1, comma A is A2. Then A2 maps to A3, comma A. So now I need to rename the given grammar in the form of A's suffixed with numbers. Always remember the start symbol must start with A1 and there is no need to touch the terminals. The terminals should be unchanged. It should be kept as it is. Only we are going to rename the non-terminals. And then we look at the grammar AI to AJ. That means A1 to A1 into. This is the index 1, this is the 2, like this. In this is I and J. I is the index in the left hand side, J is the index in the right hand side. Based on that, if I is less than J, there is no change. We can leave as it is. If it is I is greater than J, then we have to substitute AJ in AI. If I equal to J, then we have to apply the elimination of left recursion. If we apply these rules repeatedly, we will get that production in a Greibach normal form. A single production will be changed. So we need to rewrite every other production to be in the form of GNF. So we will better understand with one example by applying these steps. Remember, we need to first ensure the grammar is in the form of Chomsky's normal form and we need to rename the non-terminals. Every non-terminal should from A1, A2, A3. Terminals must be unchanged and always the start symbol must start with A1. Then based on the production rule numbering, based on the index, if I is less than J, then there is no need to change. If I is greater than J, we need to substitute AJ production in AI. If AI equals J, then it is a left recursion. We have to apply the eliminating the left recursion as discussed in the previous video. And last one, when this we repeatedly apply this, we will get the Greibach normal form. Let us discuss one example. So this is the example we have taken for converting the context-free grammar to GNF. So what are the first step we discuss? The first step is we have to make ensure it is available in CNF. So what are the eligible requirement for CNF? Only the S start symbol tends to epsilon and one non-terminal tends to terminal and one non-terminal may tends to pair of non-terminal. Look at this here, a non-terminal S tends to a pair of non-terminal S. Here B tends to a single terminal or a pair of non-terminal. Here non-terminal maps to a terminal. So for example, we have taken that such that it is already in the form of CNF. What is the step 2? In step 2, we are going to name the non-terminals from the ascending order and start with start symbol. So start symbol is S. I am going to rename S with the A1. Then in the production comes B. Because the order from top to bottom, the production left hand side. So B. So I am going to rename B with the A2. And next production is X. X is renamed by A3. And last one is capital A. A is renamed as A4. Now this is the new numbering naming I am going to follow. Just replaces the original production. Now our original production will become, instead of S place A1. So A1 maps to Actually, S maps to XA. Here X is named as A3. So A1 maps to A3 and A is named as A4. So A3, A4 or BB. B is nothing but A2. So A2, A2. Similarly, next symbol is B. B maps to A2. So A2 maps to B or SB. So it is A1, A2. Next one A3. A3 maps to B. And last one A4. A4 maps to A. So this is the result of second step. That is we numbered the non-terminals. Now we will apply the step 3. The step 3 is we are going to compare index ing. Now let us take the first production rule. A1 tends to A3, A4 or A2, A2. Now this will become my I, this will become my J. Look at this 1 and 3. So that indicates that I is less than J. If I is less than J as per rule, there is no change. So we can leave as it is. And look at the second production. I is 1 and here J is 2. Again, here it is I is less than J. So there is no change in the production rule as of now. Now, look at the next one. We are going to take the second production where A2 maps to B or A1, A2. So now, here this is my I. This is a terminal. We can leave this production. Take A2 maps to A1, A2. Now I is 2 and J is 1. Here what are the condition? I is greater than J. If I is greater than J, what we need to do? We have to make it as substitution. I told you that we have to go for substitution. Substitution means we have to substitute the production AJ in AI. Now what are the production A1? A1 maps tends to A3, A4 or A2, A2. Now I am going to substitute this A1 production in this A2. So A2 tends to B. Then I am having this A1. Instead of this A1 alone, I am going to replace this. So A3, A4, followed by I am having one A2, original A2 in the production. I am restoring it same. Again, I am having this part is A2, 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 A2. Again, I am having one A2. Now it is A2. Now this is the production at this level. Now let us consider the remaining pending production. A3 maps to B. So it's in the correct form because a non-terminal maps to a terminal. So we can leave it is again A4 maps to A. This is also a non-terminal maps to a terminal. It's already in the form of Rebuck normal form. So we can leave these two. Now we have to examine whether this existing A1 and A2 are in correct form. Now again we need to examine whether these all are in Rebuck normal form. Only A3 and A4 are in this form. Now again when you look at this A1, A1 here, A3, A2. So A1 is less than 3, 1 is less than 2, this is fine. But what about this A2? A2, we are going to examine A2 in detail. Now we are having A2 here. Now look at this first production. A2 maps to B. Here a non-terminal maps to a terminal. So no change. Now look at this A2 maps to 3. That is I is 2 and J is 3. I is less than J. That means again no change. And look at this production. Here it is 2. Here it is also 2. That is I is equal to J. Then what we need to do? If I equal to G, that means there exists the left recursion. We have to eliminate the left recursion. So for that, already in the previous video, I show you how to eliminate the left recursion. I am going to introduce one new variable called Z. So now, this is the left recursion. A2 maps to A2, A2, A2. So we need not bother about this the last part. Only we need to bother how to eliminate this first A2. So I'm going to introduce one Z where Z maps to this part. So Z maps to A2, A2. Again I'm going to write the same A2, A2 followed by Z. Now I am going to write the original form of A2. Write the unchanged production here. That is B or A3, A4, A2. Or now write the unchanged form appended by the new symbol Z. So BZ or BZ or A3, A4, A2 and Z. So this is how I got our A2. Now what we are having here, let us examine whether it is in the Greebach form. Here A2 maps B. So this is a non-terminal. You look at this, A2 maps to BZ. B starts with a terminal and this is a terminal and this is a non-terminal. So this is fine. But what about these two? They start with non-terminal. But this is not a left recursion. This is not A2. But it is A3. Now look at our original production. What is A3? A3 is B. That is, I am going to substitute A3 equal to B here. Now what happens to the A2 now? Substitute here B or now instead of this A3 I am going to replace B. All other productions are same. A4, A2 or BZ or again instead of A3 I am going to replace B, A4, A2, Z. Now look at this, A2 maps to B or BA4, A2 or BZ or BA4, A2, Z. Now this is in the correct form of GNF. That is either a non-terminal maps to a single terminal or a non-terminal maps to a single terminal followed by any number of non-terminals. So now this A2 is purely in the form of Greebach normal form. Now we have to make sure the newly created symbol Z is also in the form of Greebach normal form. Now let's see, we derive GNF A2 in the form of GNF. Now let's see about Z. The newly introduced symbol Z tends to A2 A2 or A2 A2 Z. Now what we need to do? The first character must be in the form of terminal. So already we got A2 in the form of purely in the form of GNF. So now substitute A2 production for only for first A2. So these first A2s will be replaced by this A2 production. Now how will become Z becomes in the stand of A2 replace the value of A2. So just write as it is B. Already I am having on A2. So B A2 or write this B A4 A2. Again on this A2 I am writing it or B is A2 or B A4 A2 is A2 or again I am having the second production A2 A2 Z. So write A2 and append A2 Z. So that means B A2 Z or B A4 A2 and A2 Z or B Z A2 Z or B A4 A2 Z followed by A2 Z. So now look at this Z. The new symbol Z. This production also all start with one terminal B followed by n number of non-terminals. So now this is also in the form of Greebach normal form. Now the last one we are having one more leftover production is A1 tends to A3 A4 or A2 A2. Just recall what we have A1 here. We have A1 tends to A3 A4 or A2 A2. Now what is the value of A3, A3 tends to A. A3 tends to B. So A3 tends to B. I am going to substitute A3 tends to B here. So A1 maps to B and A4. The first production is simplified, or here A2 is already in the form of Greibach normal form. So for the first A2, replace the value of A2 and append A2. Here we are having the value of A2 at the top. So write B A2 or B A4 A2, again one A2, or B is it A2 or B A4 A2 Z and A2. Now look at this, again A1 tends to a production where everything starts with a terminal followed by n number of non-terminal. Again this is in the form of Greibach normal form. Now writing all the production rules what we are getting in the GNF format, A1, A2, A3, A4 and the new symbol is Z. I am having this. And these are these symbols what we are originally given with. There is S, B, X, A. We have replaced with A1, A2, A3, A4 and one symbol is Z. I am going to replace this with the original symbols, and this is what I am having now. This is the Greibach normal form. So this is how we have to convert a CFG to GNF. Now recall how it should be. Either only the S short symbol should be epsilon, one non-terminal should map to terminal, and one non-terminal should map to a terminal followed by number of non-terminals. So this is the Greibach normal form and this is achieved. Thank you.